Okay, so good evening. It's time I begin now our class. We have to start right now. As I'm waiting for you, you mentioned something about this day, but it was never confirmed by you, neither by management. Okay, about not having classes today. So I have to give the class. If you join, I believe, because we said right at 7 your time, I believe you're going to join. If that's the case, great. All right, you will join and we will continue working together. If not, well, the class will be there, recorded, same channel, right? So to watch it. And of course, sorry, if you're watching it, you got information, all right? But anyways, first, right, remember the first things we had to do were related to your scores. You told me something about it, but in general, as you can see here, and this is what I'm looking at right now, these are your scores, and they are great, all right? They are working pretty well, okay? This is part of Model A. Everything seems to be very good, and everything went very well, actually, in Natalia. All right, and again, so on that purpose, on that matter, I believe we don't have any inconvenience. Again, I just want to be sure that I'm on the right place. Yes, because this is usually our time, right? 10 to 11, but where all your time would be just 1 hour before. But well, yes, I'm there. I'm where I'm supposed to be. But yeah, you're doing great. You did great. Okay, now again, I had to show you this and just to tell you that you did it great and continue working on that way. If you have some problems, difficulties, again, we're always going to try to be clear with everything. All right, so model A is clear for you. Now we got to go with the next model, and actually that's the first thing I'm going to do now, as perhaps I'm waiting for you and you will join the course. I will, well, assign the next course, which is A8, and in this case, it will be Model B, right? I have to start with Model B. We have to start with Model B. So we have to start and assign everything right first, only the assignments. Same thing as before in Natalia, you have to finish all these assignments in 8 days, right? Actually, 8 classes, let's say, because it's not 8 days. It's 8 classes, and that includes many things. All right, you have way more than just 8 days to finish with that. Okay, so 160 assignments. That should be working good. Let me see. Yes. Next, remember 8 classes, right? So today, then Monday, 2, right? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right. So once again, to verify that it is correct, let's say we have 1, right? 1, let's go this part, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. No, actually it's up to this point, right? I was making a mistake. Okay, so one more time, 1, 2, 3, 4, that's a 4, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yes. Okay, that it looked a lot. So Monday the 14th, August the 14th, that's the date, right? That's the due date, and that's the date in which you have to finish everything, all the assignments, all the quizzes, and the final exam. It's the same as the previous course, but again, take these considerations into account, please, Natalia. Okay, first the assignments. Remember, you have 2 different attempts. You have a model for those elements, and that's it. Okay, now the assignments are already there. Now let's go with the quizzes. Remember, always review quizzes. They are at the end of everything. Always try to work the first unit, then work the quiz for that unit, right? Second unit, the quiz for that second unit, and so on and so forth. Remember that we only have 3 quizzes, right? Because the third one, instead of actually the fourth one, right? Instead of the fourth quiz, it's the final exam directly. Okay, so 3 quizzes, same. And of course, we also got until August the 14th, 11:59 p.m. And you have 50 minutes per a quiz. Okay, take that into account. Please don't forget about that detail. That is very important. Okay, 15 minutes. Then the last thing for us to do now is to assign the final test. This is the final test. Okay, so we have to, well, the due date, right, is the same, August the 14th. But the start date, remember, it cannot start immediately. Instead, it will be, okay, available starting the last days and the last, let's say, weekend before the 14th. And it will start, actually start date, yes, it's okay, 6 a.m. let's say. Okay, so the whole day starting on Thursday, you have Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday to, well, complete and take the final exam. And here you have 60 minutes. That's it. Okay, so we are good. We should be good so far. Again, just in case, I'm going to double check my, well, the messages, or I was checking that. Everything seems to be okay. I mean, it's just that I was not told about today's possible permission, but in case there is a permission and they didn't tell me, of course, that's going to be as permission. Okay, now it means that everything is set on Pearson and Natalia. Okay, work on that, please. Do it little by little so that you don't have to do a lot of the things at the end. Okay, we are good and done with Pearson now. If you go to Gradebook, now you're going to see that you have, of course, all those assignments there for you. Okay, so as you can see in total, you have 322 now and you have 8 tests. Because if you divide this in only the Model B, you have 160 for the Model B and 4 tests, right? 3 quizzes and the 1 final exam. Okay, so now I have to begin then with the class, right? I have to begin with the first lessons. Again, if you're not going to be here, I hope you're able to watch then the class so that you can ask me then the questions and, well, try to practice this by yourself. If you get to have any inconveniences, sorry, I'm just, all right, getting more comfortable. If you get to have some questions, if we need to practice something extra, we're going to do it in the second class. But today I'm going to try to take the advantage. I'm going to cover at least 2 lessons, okay, that you can watch again, and we can practice those lessons on our next day. That will be, of course, Monday. All right, so let's open this first one, and I'll start the first idea. Okay, now let's begin officially with this. I'm just drinking some tea again because I'm still getting better. But let's then begin. Okay, non-action verbs. I believe that perhaps we covered many of these lessons, but again, we have to keep reinforcing. We have to cover everything that Pearson will tell us to cover because we need to, well, be sure that you are ready for the quizzes, for the assignments, and you are improving everything you are supposed to improve according to the program. Okay? Now, of course, non-action verbs are also called or named or let's say considered as stative verbs. Okay, and what's the definition? It says that stative verbs are verbs that describe a state rather than an action. That's why these stative verbs are non-action verbs, because they don't describe actions. As for example, running, right? Run is an action. You are running, I can see the action. You were running, I could see the action. But some of them, they don't describe actions, they describe states. For example, know. You know or you don't know, right? It's not that you are knowing, that's incorrect. Like, right? I like something or I don't like something. It's not the action of liking, right? I'm liking this. No, I like it, I don't like it. The state, not an action. Same with seem, and you have other verbs. Okay, so those are stative verbs because they express states rather than actions. Okay, so here you have these examples, right? I don't know the answer. She really likes you. He seems happy at the moment. All of those, know, like, seem, those are non-action verbs. Okay, they are not actions. To understand that, we have to take a look at these categories, right? 4 in total. Let me take this here because I don't see that. Now you have thoughts and opinions because they are not actions, right? If you say, I agree or I disagree, it's not an action, it's your opinion, your thought. If you say, I believe, I don't believe, also it's not action. None of these elements over here are actions. They are just opinions, ideas, all right? Something that is a state more than of an action. Feelings and emotions, of course, that's not action. You can feel something, you can be related to emotions, but that's not something that you can do as action. All right? It's something that you feel, is how you describe something as an emotion, but not as an action. Senses and perceptions, same. If you can perceive something, it's because you have the ability of perception, but you are not doing an action over there. Okay, so all of those elements that you see over there are non-action verbs. All right, but again, we're going to see exceptions because some of them can have an action meaning. So at the same time, they are going to be action verbs and they are going to be non-action verbs. But it depends on the meaning or the way you are using that specific word. All right, in possession, you also have the case over here. And actually, I think in all of the cases, we have one element like that. But possession and measurement, again, is not something that is an action. But some of them, under certain circumstances, can be actions. All right, but in general, overall, these words, these verbs, these categories indicate or shows us, right, or they show us, sorry, that we have to consider these 4 elements when thinking about stative verbs or non-action verbs. Right now, more than the examples, because we've been giving some, we are going to understand how some of them can be both, right? They can be action verbs and non-action verbs, okay? Or again, stative verbs. Now, the verb to be. The verb to be, again, let me get more comfortable now. All right. Okay, so the verb to be can be action or non-action verb. Why? because the meaning that you can give with this word can vary. For example, if it's a real estate, you can talk about your name, right? For example, Luis, I am Luis. It's always going to be like that. The thing about action verbs, remember, is that action verbs, they can be used with ing. It means in continuous tenses. But if it's a stative verb, it cannot be used with ing because it's not action. So a state would be my name, my age, right? I am Luis. I am 32 years old. All right. But be also means behave or act. So if someone is, okay, sorry, I'm kind of tired, and it always happens, right? When I'm alone in class, it's just that I get like this. It's different, all right, to have you here with me. But behave or act, it means that it's not a state. You cannot talk about your name, your age, the verb to be, but you can talk about characteristics that are descriptions of acting and behaving. For example, if you are behaving in a very rude way, you're not like that. I don't know. I'm not describing your state, but I can describe how you are behaving. You are doing the action of being like that. So you say you are being rude. She's being nice to me. I don't know why. Okay, I'm not saying that she is nice as a state. I'm saying that she's behaving in a nice way to me, all right, or with me. And that's the difference, okay? Be is a stative. It cannot be with ing. When it's a state, for example, I am Luis, it is incorrect to say I am being Luis, right? You don't say I am being Luis. You don't say I am being 32 years old. No, because those are states, descriptions, real and general descriptions. But if you want to use the continuous form, the verb to be needs to mean behave or act. When someone is acting in a way, when someone is behaving in a way, you can use be in the continuous form. All right? And if you see, sorry, if you see what you got there, it's the same sentence. It's just that he is immature is a state, is how you are. You are immature. It's how he is. He is immature. But he is being immature is that I don't know how he is, but right now he is behaving in that way. In that case, you can use it as action. Have the same. When have means possession, of course, it's non-action verb. It's a stative, right? You don't say, I am having a car. That's incorrect. That's always incorrect. You don't say, he is having a dog. No, it's not valid. It doesn't make sense. Okay? But what you can do is that you can use, once again, a different meaning for that word, and then you can use that word in a continuous form, in action form. Okay, so for example, have means possession, but instead, or not only possession, but it also means experiencing, eating, drinking. For example, instead of I am drinking some coffee, you say I'm having some coffee. Okay, I am having some coffee. If you, let's say, okay, instead of I'm eating breakfast, you say I'm having breakfast. Okay, so have in that case is not have as possession. It's not possession. You say I'm eating, I'm drinking, then it's have. Do you want to have some coffee? Do you want to have I don't know, a jar of juice? So it means eat, drink, or experiencing, right? I'm having a really good time. I'm having a really bad time. Okay, I'm having a relaxing time. I'm having a blast. So when you describe your experience, have means experiencing. Okay, that's very important again. So have, if it's possession, it's non-action verb. You cannot use it with ing. I mean, not ing because it can be something different. You cannot use it in the continuous form. Okay, and action verbs, yes, they can be used, all right, with the continuous verb. Have, be. Now, see, with see, we are in the same logic. When it's perception, something that comes to your eyes, but it's not an action that you do, okay? Because to see is just to perceive what you got. So that's when it's appearance, sorry, not appearance, when it's perception or understanding, in the case up there, it is non-action verb. It is a stative verb. I see some birds. You don't say, I'm seeing some birds. Okay, it's I see. Then I see what you mean. It means I understand what you mean. All right, so once again, when it's perception or understanding, it's not action, it is a state. But when you say meet or to have a relationship with as part of, well, this, as part of the meaning of this word, it means continuous, it means action. Okay, I'll be seeing the doctor tomorrow. It means I'll be meeting the doctor tomorrow. We will have an encounter. We have a professional appointment. If that's the case, see, it can be, of course, not countable. What am I saying here? All right, it can be an action. It is an action. Not always, but remember, we're showing that these action verbs can be used with continuous tenses. All right, he'll be seeing, he'll be meeting the doctor. Now, the other one is like, sorry, dating someone, to have a relationship with someone. Okay, so we've been seeing each other for a month. It means we've been right in a kind of a relationship for a month, that we've been going out together for a month. Okay, that's the idea for that specific part. See, also, its appearance, it's not continuous, it's a state, right? For example, it looks very good. It looks great, all right? Looks, the appearance. Non-action verb is a stative verb, okay? But when you use phrasal verbs, for example, to observe or to put your sight, right, on something, then you have other phrasal verbs. They are very likely going to be action verbs. Okay, so action, it says, you have these three examples. Look at, that means observate, right? To direct your eyes towards something, but actively observe. That's, he's looking on the screen, all right? She's looking for a job. It means to search, to seek for something. Okay, so the same idea, it can be action. And you're looking after, it means taking care of. So they're looking after my dog for the weekend. They are doing that, and well, that's great. Okay, but again, we're taking a look at how they are used as action verbs. Okay, they are action verbs. They can be used in simple tenses, they can be used in continuous tenses. With action verbs, you don't have limits on that matter. But with stative verbs, when they have the meaning of a stative verb, you have that limitation. Okay, now smell, taste. And again, today I believe that just because I believe that we're going to have this case of a permission or something, we're going to cover this. But let's see if I'm going to cover the other one as well. Okay, but smell, taste, feel like. Now, this is interesting and important. Smell, taste, right? You mentioned actually that for okay, I'm going to remember that one. But again, it's just that I'm with a lot of, sorry, because of these interruptions and pauses and me yawning and all these things, all right? It's just that I'm tired and I'm sick and, well, it's kind of difficult. But smell, taste. The main difference, remember, about non-action verbs and action verbs, or stative verbs and action verbs, is that stative verbs, they show a state, a general characteristic of something. It's not an action, right? For example, the bar smells of smoke. The bar is not doing any action. That's the description of the bar. That's how it smells. The bar smells of smoke. So we're describing, okay, a characteristic, just describing. Okay, and we don't have anything doing any action. This is just description. This meat tastes like chicken, the same. The meat is not doing any action. This is not an action. This is a description of something that, once again, all right, well, it's not an action itself. It's just a characteristic, a quality, you can also call it. I was forgetting about that word. The bar smells of smoke. That smelling of smoke is the quality of the bar. This meat tastes like chicken. Same idea. That's the quality of the meat. Now, action is not when you describe a quality or a characteristic, is when you describe a person using his or her senses to do this action. For example, for smelling, I'm going to use my nose, right? And by using my nose, I can smell, and that's action. So the cake smells, you can say, right? Or the bar smells of smoke. That's the characteristic of the bar. I smell it. I am smelling the smoke. Okay, so I'm using my nose to smell that. Same tasting. She's tasting the soup to see if it needs more salt. It means, again, you're grabbing just a spoon, you're tasting the soup with your senses, with your mouth, with your tongue, and that's action. Okay, so it's stative when you describe the characteristics, when you describe, again, a quality that something has. But it can be something or someone. Okay, it's possible for them. Now, let's go to think and feel, because again, that's the difference between smell, taste as action and non-action verbs. Okay, now think, and feel, they are going to be stative verbs when you're talking about opinion. All right, that's going to be key, and actually that's key. For example, I think that that's a great idea. Okay, so it's my opinion. I think that's a great idea. You don't say, I'm thinking that's a great idea. No, I think, I believe. That's the main reason you can give. Okay, so I believe that when you can, let's say, replace the word think or feel with believe, it's correct. So I think that's a great idea. I believe that's a great idea. I feel, I feel that this is not the best use of our time. That is also stative. You can say, I believe this is not the best use of our time. Or even, all right, it can be something more. But if you have those ideas there, we are clear. Okay, I think that's a great idea. I feel like this is, sorry, I feel that this is not the best use of our time. Okay, in both cases, again, for think and feel, we have the same logic of replacing them with, well, no, it's okay. In this case, it has to be like that. It can be replaced with belief, right, as we said. But that's the main idea. For the next cases, it's just that we don't mean opinion. It's not that I think that you're right. It has to be I think, right? You don't say I'm thinking that you're right. No, I think that you're right. I don't, well, I don't think that you're right. But in this case, in the second case, in action form, it means a real action. It means, again, when, let's say in the first case, you are using your brain to think of something, even though that's not observable, you do it, and that's an action because it's happening over there. Okay, so That is going to be one thing. This is going to be first. All right. Um, let's analyze. I wanted to comment something on this one. And this is again action, even though it's not something we perceive, it is something that is happening here. And you can say, right, I was thinking about that. Okay, but that thinking is not opinion. It's just I was using my brain to process that information. That idea is action. Okay, so we're thinking about moving to another city, or we are considering moving to another city, because in that case, it's also the same. But remember that, well, feeling, it's when emotions and health. And again, you can use it then with this, well, the tense first, the continuous tense. I don't know if it's something else, but okay, here. Feel is I'm feeling bad now. Okay, I've been feeling pretty sick now. Okay, she's been feeling like this, like that. So those are elements to make us understand when it is better to use or when it's correct to use think and feel. As a stative, remember when they are opinion, when they mean I believe, I feel that this is not the best idea. But again, well, if they don't have that meaning, if they cannot be replaced in that way, it is very likely that they are action verbs. Okay, I'm just uh, saying that because it's important to realize. If they are not opinion, they are not beliefs, they are that, they are action. Okay, and in that case, there is no limitation with those two elements. And the last two, weight and measure, they are similar to, let's say, smell and taste. Remember, weight and measure are going to be qualities, characteristics possessed by, okay, anything in specific. And if you do that, you are not using the continuous form because it's not action. In the two examples over there, you have the suitcase weighs 20 pounds. Okay, you're describing how much the suitcase, sorry, costs, or in this case, not costs, weights. Okay, 20 pounds, or we can say kilograms, right? 20 pounds, and I don't know how many kilograms. But you're describing the suitcase. You're not describing an action that it is doing. No, you are describing a general characteristic of the survey, or the suitcase, sorry. The softboard measures 2 meters by 55 centimeters. Same idea over here, all right? You're describing the measurement of the softboard. You are not saying that it is giving an idea, all right, that it is doing an action. They are not doing actions. The suitcase doesn't do actions, right? And well, when they are action words, they are action verbs, same as taste and smell. If you use, right, something related to you to perform that action, for example, the butcher is weighing the meat on the scale. So he's using a scale to weight the meat. Okay, it doesn't have to be, let's say, with a very specific instrument, or I don't know. You can simply say that, and it has to be related to a person, right? My uncle is waiting I don't know, the bet because of I don't know what strange reason, or he is waiting this and that. But that's again to see the measure, right? The measurement. And to do it, you have to obtain that data. All right. So again, you can say, for example, this cell phone weighs, I don't know how many grams. And then you can ask for that one, or you can try to see other details, but you're describing the characteristic. Okay. So to know actually that it weighs, I don't know how many grams, I can use a scale, or I can use, right, something electronic to put it there and to weight it. And as I'm doing that action, I can say, I'm weighting my cell phone. I want to verify the, well, everything in general, right? But that's the idea. Again, you know the weight of something because you can use an instrument to get that information. And that's what's happening there. For example, the second one, the architects were measuring the distance between the pillars. All right. So again, in this case, we don't have to, well, actually, we cannot write examples and we don't have to go deeper, but this is a very important element to take into account. The lesson is very short, actually, but even just me explaining this took some extra and a good time. So please practice. First of all, just try to memorize some of these verbs. Then try to see the differences that there are right between the two elements, the context in which you use them, and some other details. But again, most of the cases, it's not hard to spot that difference, and you can pay attention to that. Okay, that was the first lesson. Now the second lesson, actually, this is going to be again very short, way shorter than the other one, and with this we finish. Okay, so let's take a look at this lesson. And this is, again, something that we have to know. Even for practicing, this is very short. But again, if you, of course, have your doubts and you want to be sure that this is clear for you, we will practice this in class, okay? But models. We know that we use models for many purposes. In this case, we're going to use it for requests, offers, invitations, and orders. Okay, those four things: requests, offers, inviting, and ordering. We use these four main elements and models: can, will, could, and would. Right? Now, in terms of formality, the less formal are can and will, and the more formal are could and would. But sometimes just I can imagine one situation actually is that will can be formal. But in general, take them as you can see over here. Less formal can, will, more formal could, and would. Okay, if you know that, that's great. We are working with models. Remember the rule with models, always the base form, right? Always the base form. So it means eat. We don't say I can to eat. No. You don't say I can eating. No. You don't say I can ate. No. No conjugations in present, in past, no conjugations at all. Just the base verb. Eat, be, study, travel. All right. That's the base verb. We know that. The formula and everything is the same. So request is when we ask someone to do something, perhaps for us, or just to do something. And you have again the four cases: will, could, can, and would. Will you pass me the salt? Right? It's the same as can you pass me the salt? Could you pass me the salt? Would you pass me the salt? The four cases, the four of them are correct. Okay, so you can use all of them, but again, it depends on how formal you want to be. If you're not that formal, you can say, can you pass me the salt? Will you pass me the salt? That's less formal. And if you want to be more formal, could you pass me the salt or would you pass me the salt? Right? That's formal, more formal. Now, of course, please, the word please is a good idea to use that word right every time, as much as we can. So it can be in between the subject and the verb in the form of a question or at the end. So could you please open the door? Or can you wait a moment, please? Okay, it's just to add something related to being polite, and that's always good and positive, right? Then this is important for negative requests. When you want someone not to do something, you have to use this not. So would you please not smoke here? Okay, would you please not do this action here? Can you not use your phone in the library? So again, you are requesting something, but in a negative way. Okay, that's making a request. Now, for responses, this is going to be clear and direct. Dalia, we only use can, will, all right? Yes, I can, yes, I will, for answering affirmative questions. And we use can't for negative ones. Okay, but we don't use could or would, right, generally, or won't, because they give an impression of something too aggressive sometimes. I'm going to say that. Okay, something too aggressive. So we don't use that. We use can, will in affirmative, can't in negative, right? So can you please come inside? Will you please come inside? Would you please come inside? Could you please come inside? Any of those, your response has to be, it's very cold out there. Yes, I can. Yes, I will, right? No problem. Or no, I can't. Sorry, I have to do this. So no problem. But you don't say, right? No, I won't. It's like giving a very, very strong response to something, and it's not correct. Okay, so yes, I can. Yes, I will. No, I can't. All right? No, you don't say no, I couldn't. That's something different. And well, that's it. And of course, it's always good to give a reason when it's a negative response, not just to say, right, no, I can't. To explain just a little bit about something, it's good, right? No, I can't, sorry. I have to complete this. I have to finish this by tomorrow. I have this and that and so on, right? Then offers, here mainly can and could. Okay, those are the two important ones here. Can you help me? Oh, sorry, it's offers, right? Can I help you? In request, yes, we're asking someone to do something. But in offers, we are doing something for that person, right? Can I help you? Could we get you something to eat? Okay, so we are offering our services. We are offering that to someone else. We can also use would like to offer something directly, right? Would you like some water? Would you like something to eat? Would you like this or that? Okay, sorry once again. But you are offering things, right? You are offering services, you're offering food, you're offering beverages, and so on and so forth. Okay, that's offers. Then we have invitations. Once again, here we can use the four of them and also would like. So can, will, could, would like. And the difference between offer and invitation is that in offer, I'm going to do something for you. On request, you are going to do something for me. In invitation, I'm telling you to do something, perhaps very likely together. Okay, but I'm inviting you to do something. So, can you come to my house for dinner? Because we're going to eat together. Will you come to the dance, sorry, with me? So we together. Could you celebrate Chinese New Year with us? Invitation with us together. Would you like to go to the cinema? Invitation. Of course, it's not going to be, would you like to go alone? Right? No. Would you like to go? Of course, with me. And finally, order in a restaurant. Okay? I'll have and I'd like. Those are the common expressions that we use to order for something. All right? For ordering, you will say, I'll have the salad with this ingredient and this ingredient. Or I'd like, right, the chicken like this and like that. Okay, so I'll have and I'd like both are used for orders in this specific case. Then you have something extra that you can take a look at, Natalia, but I believe I'm going to leave that extra thing because that's extra we don't need to cover, but it's important to incorporate this in your mindset, in your knowledge. So I'm going to make you practice this last part, these extra expressions with me. Okay, but the rest of it now is done. I'm going to be finishing the class here, all right, because again, I used more time perhaps than the one I need. All right, well, but that's it. Again, I'm going to verify that today we had that permission. Actually, I don't know. I don't have that information, but I am going to find out. If that's the case, of course, there is no problem, right? But yeah, I think that's it. I just wanted to add some extra thing, but I believe that's it. You have Pearson. Please work on Pearson. Work everything little by little. Work on your activities, your assignments, everything in a certain way. And that's it. If you get to have questions after watching this class, please let me know. All right. We're going to try to practice, of course, not the whole class, but a part of the class on Monday. But well, until then, that's going to be it. I hope you have a good night. I'm also going to be getting ready for the next class. All right. Have a good night, or well, a good rest of the day. And I hope I can see you soon and for the next one, Natalia. Bye bye.